Hello, this is Karen Squillante. I welcome you to Nature's Alchemy, where we will explore natural healing with crystals, plants, and herbalism, essential oils, and the many ways that Mother Earth provides for our healing and well-being. Now, today I have a very exciting class all about essential oils. Well, I'm not going to talk about specific essential oils as far as like their properties, but I do want to talk to you about safety. Safety is really important when it comes to essential oils because, first of all, let's talk about what is an essential oil for those of you who don't know. They are distilled aromatic substances that come from plants. Now, some essential oils are created by CO2 extraction or carbon dioxide extraction, like Delca flowers that would melt or disintegrate, like jasmine or rose, but others are extracted like they're expeller pressed, like the citrus oils. But most of them are extracted with water, and the result is a concentrated mixture of volatile components. For example, terpenes, which give the plant their scent and healing properties. So these compounds are really powerful. And they can be very irritating to the body. And this is why it's really important to use these when you're using essential oils, to dilute them properly and never ingest them unless under the direct supervision of a clinical aromatherapist. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy within the essential oil community. And the reason why it's a controversy is because there's some very large companies that advocate ingesting essential oils. Now, essential oils are so volatile that your liver can't really metabolize them properly. And so if you keep ingesting them, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your liver and that could damage it. So in order to use them properly internally, really need to go with somebody who really a clinical aromatherapist, somebody who's been trained to do that. And normally with a clinical aromatherapist, if you're going to ingest any essential oil, they only tell you to put one drop in a bunch of water and drink that throughout the day so that your body doesn't get hit with it all at once. So that's how you really don't want to ingest them. But we're not really going to talk about ingesting today. We're going to talk more about dilution and creating topicals. So to understand how powerful they are, when you inhale those molecules, they go right to the brain and they go into your nose and up to what they call the olfactory bulb, which is right behind your sinuses. And that olfactory bulb creates an immediate response from the brain. It doesn't, like all the other four senses, it has to go through the limbic system before it registers in your body. But the scent or going through your nose to your olfactory bulb hits your brain immediately. And these molecules, it takes about 20 seconds, which is really like nothing. And then it takes 90 seconds for them to get in your bloodstream. And then within a few minutes, they get into every cell in the body. That's amazing. That's really incredible to me. So they're very, very powerful. Now, they're concentrated, and one drop contains millions of molecules. And it's really important to use safety and care when you're using them. So especially if you're using them around babies. Now, dilution rates vary, and this might get a little bit complicated for you guys because it is a little bit it can be confusing when you're doing dilution rates. But dilution rates means that you're taking um, a, an oil, a carrier oil, a vegetable oil, like coconut oil or almond oil or jojoba oil, and you're putting a few drops into a container with the vegetable oil so that it dilutes the essential oil. Now, Dilution is really reason why we dilute them is not to lower their volatility, but actually to spread the molecules out so that they don't hit the skin in high concentration. So if you take one drop and put it on your skin, you're putting millions of molecules right there. And because they're so volatile, they can create irritation. And if you continue to do it over a period of time, they can actually cause an allergic reaction. So that's why we don't really want to do that. So a dilution rate for babies under under 12 months old, if they're full term. If you have a premature baby, you never want to use them on them because everything about them hasn't completely formed yet. So you want to wait until they're at least the size of a 3-month-old. So before you use essential oils, and the dilution rate is very low, it's 0.01%, which is basically 1 drop in an ounce of carrier oil, which is really not a lot, but because their livers are not, excuse me, their livers are not mature enough to handle all of this volatility. You don't want to overload them at such a tiny, tender age. Now, if you have children up to 6 years, you can dilute up to 1 to 2%. And for children from 6 to 12, the recommended dosage is 1.5 to 3%. But for now, we're going to talk about using them on people over the age of 12. So, okay. So there's a website there's a website out there called TisserainInstitute.org. And it was developed by Robert Tisserand. And he devoted 20 years of his life to researching the safety of essential oils. And he wrote a book. Book's about like this thick, and it's on Amazon. It's called Essential Oil Safety. And if you want to get it, it's an amazing book. If you're into essential oils that much. But on his website, he has a whole section on safety. And he also has a place where you can go where people have reported adverse reactions, and there are a ton of them on there. So that might be something that you might want to check out. Now, if you accidentally spill some essential oils that aren't diluted onto your skin, you do not want to flush with water because oil and water don't mix. So you're just concentrating the oils in one place more, and that can create more irritation. So what you want to do is you want to take any kind of oil, doesn't matter, grab the olive oil, grab the peanut oil, grab whatever, and use that and spread that all over your skin, and that will dilute the oil, and it will reduce the reaction, so the irritation goes away. So it can be removed safely. So I want to talk about how to use safely dilute essential oils to use topically. I am sorry. I must be tongue-tied today. I apologize. First, you need to get a good quality vegetable oil. There are a lot of choices out there, and some of the ones, and you want to use organic, okay? Because if you're going to put it on your skin, you don't want to put pesticides and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. So one of the oils that I have is coconut oil, and this is called also MCT oil because it's liquid. Okay, virgin coconut oil is solid at room temperature. This one stays liquid at all times, and it also doesn't go rancid as fast. So this is a really great oil to use, especially if you have dry skin. It's a really emollient. This one here is a jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is not really oil; it's actually a wax, and so it really lasts a long time. And it goes right into your skin. It's really great for your skin. And another one that I use is almond oil. Okay. And almond oil is very, very common. It's light. It doesn't make your skin that greasy. And you can use almond oil just about anywhere, unless you're allergic to nuts. You got to be careful about that. Okay. So those are 3 of the types that I use. Now, you can also use sunflower oil, olive oil, black seed oil, any of those. It doesn't really matter as long as you're choosing the oil that's good for your skin. And you can do some research on that. There are many articles about the different carrier oils and what they do and what they're good for. And there's also a listing of whether they're non-comedogenic or not, which means that they don't create blackheads on the face. So you might want to check that out. Okay, so um, to safely use essential oils on your skin, you want to keep the dilution to a maximum of 3%, unless you have an acute situation like pain, or if you have like psoriasis or something that, shingles, you can use essential oils with shingles. You can go as high as 5%. So what does that all mean? What does that mean when you say a 3% or 5% dilution? So the essential oil community uses a metric system for measuring because it's more accurate than the imperial system. So you should definitely learn it or be familiar with it if you haven't already. Now, to give you some measurements, 1 ounce is approximately 30 milliliters, excuse me. 1 tablespoon is about 15 mils, and 1 teaspoon is about 5. So just to give you an idea, this is a bottle of rosemary, and this is 5 milliliters. So there's 1 teaspoon of rosemary oil in this bottle. So each 1 milliliter contains about 20 to 25 drops, depending on how wide the opening of your bottle is. Now, not all essential oil openings are created equal. There are some very, very large companies that sell essential oils, and their apertures are bigger than normal essential oils. So you have to be really careful. So what I would suggest is you get yourself some plastic droppers. And this way, every time you use those plastic droppers, you always get a consistent drop of oil. So let me see here. Okay, so if you were to make a 10 milliliter roller bottle for yourself, this is how you would calculate your dilution. Oh, and let me say this. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I have some tools here. I'm going to tell you also. Okay, now this is the company that I use for 10 milliliter bottles. Their name is Aurora, and they're on Amazon. Okay, so I've looked around. I'm like the bargain queen, and so I looked around, I checked, and they are the cheapest for roller bottles. So in this box, okay, you're going to get, let's see, you're going to get some stickers, and then you're also going to get some tools. Hold on 1 second. All right. You're going to get a plastic dropper, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, you're going to get some caps for your bottles. You're going to get some roller balls and the piece that goes in the glass tube so they don't leak. And then you're going to get glass tubes. And these are blue. These are not sprayed on blue. These are solid blue glass. You can see on the inside they're the same color. Okay, and these are 10 milliliters. Okay, so that means there's 2 teaspoons of oil in here. Okay, and then the other thing they give you is this wonderful little tool. Okay, and this little tool right here will save you so many headaches when you do this, because not all the companies that you purchase these these glass bottles from give you this. But what this does, it allows you to open and close them without having to ruin the roller balls. Okay, whoops. So you use this piece to take them off, and you use this one to put them on. And then these are just 2 different sizes. Okay, but the one that I find that I use the most is this one for pushing them down. And I'm going to show you how to do all this. And then this one for opening it. Okay, so when you want to make roller bottle for yourself. And they're really convenient because once you make these, once you put the cap on and then you mix your oils and then you put it together, you can put this in your pocket and take it wherever you, or put it in your purse or wherever you want to go. So you have oils on the go. So let's say you have the sniffles and you want to make something for sinuses, then you would put some oils in here. I'm going to actually show you how to do that because I've got the 3 oils here that I'm going to make the one for colds and flu, or sniffles as I call them. Okay, and then all you have to do is just, you can roll it on your chin, you can put it on your chest or on here or on your temples, anywhere it's close to your nose so that you can smell it and that, you know, it'll help you to breathe. Okay, so if you were going to make this 10 milliliter roller bottle for yourself, this is how you would do it. And this is how you would calculate your dilution. So 10 mils is about 200 drops of liquid. Remember I said that 1 mil is about 20 to 25 drops. So we're going to say for all intents and purposes that 1 mil is 20 drops. So this is 10, so it's about 200 drops. So if you're diluting to 3%, you would multiply 3% times 200 drops, and then you would get 6 drops. So then you add 6 drops to your roller bottle, and then fill the rest with your chosen vegetable or carrier oil. Okay, and that's how you would do that. So let me see, I am so sorry. Okay, so let's say if you wanted to make a bigger bottle, let's say if you wanted to use a 1 ounce bottle, that would be 30 mils or 30 milliliters. That contains 600 drops. So for a 3% dilution, you'd multiply 600 drops times 3%, and that would give you 18 drops. And that's the proper dilution. Okay, so the first recipe that I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. You're going to get, for stuffy noses and sinus, you're going to use 2 drops each of peppermint, which is Piperita, excuse me, Mentha piperita. That's the that's the Latin name. You really got to make sure you're getting the right stuff. So you want to check to make sure that your oil says Mentha piperita on it, which this one does, because I bottled this one myself. And then the next one is you're going to use Eucalyptus globulus, okay, and that is the actual name, Eucalyptus globulus, okay, and then rosemary is the third one, and this is Romarinus officinalis, okay. So those are the 3 oils that we're going to use today. So where is that beautiful blue? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the handy tool that you need to use this. So, oh, and the other thing that you're going to need is a funnel. Okay, now you can buy these funnels on Amazon, okay, and you can also buy these plastic droppers on Amazon too, but they give you one, and I believe they give you one of these too. I don't remember because I pulled it out of the box a while ago. So you can get these little plastic funnels, and they really help because it's really hard to pour this big bottle into this little bottle. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to put your funnel inside the bottle. Okay, and then you want to take, let's say we're gonna use our liquid coconut oil, and you want to fill it only halfway. Okay, because if you fill it too far, then you can't get your essential oils in there. So you really want to drop it, and you want to go slow. Okay, and because 10 mils is not very much, only 2 teaspoons. Okay, so that's about halfway, maybe a little more. Okay. And then the way to get these open is you have to use this tool, or you can, if you want to be really accurate, you always want to use a pipette or a dropper. Okay, but for right now, I'm going to show you how to pull this off. But these orifices are pretty, these are pretty standard. So you're going to get a normal drop. But what you would do is, you see there's this plastic orifice on the top, and you have this side here that has a little lip on it. So what you want to do is you want to stick this lip right underneath the plastic. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to do it down here. I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'll show you when I get it halfway. Give me a second. Okay, so see how I put this in there and then I pop it right off. Okay, so you got to be really careful. Okay, and then what I do is I put this right into the cap. All right, and I take my dropper and I go into the bottle and I squeeze out a little bit and I go drop, drop, because we're only putting 2. So for right now, I'm just going to leave the orifices in here because uh, they are they're pretty good. I mean, they're not too big. Okay. So when you're pouring this out of here, just be careful. You want to tip it slow. And then eventually it'll come out. Come on. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay. All right. And then we're going to go to the next one, which is eucalyptus globulus. And we're going to do 2 drops of that. 1, 2. Now, remember, not all these oils are the same viscosity, which means some are thicker than others and some are thinner than others. So you have to be really careful when you're pouring it that it comes out too fast. And this is rosemary, which is Rosmarinus officinalis. And then we're going to put 2 drops of that in here also. 1. And sometimes they come down the side. 2. Okay. So that's all the essential oils that you need to put in there. And remember, these have millions of molecules in each drop. Okay, so now we have the essential oils floating on the top. So you want to go back to your funnel. Now what I do is I lift this up a little bit because when you want to fill it up to where the neck narrows. Okay, so we're going to be really careful here because we don't want to overfill this. So we want to just go really slow. You don't want to rush this process. It's not worth rushing because believe me, I've been there, done that, and gotten very impatient. Okay, and so that's pretty much perfect right there. Okay, so now what you want to do, put this down for a moment. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you is that when you're making these things and you want to give them away as gifts, you really need to you need to sterilize them. And the way that I do that is I take 70% isopropyl alcohol, which is the same stuff they use to clean your skin when they give you an injection or they take your blood. So it'll do the job. So what I do is I put it in a spray bottle and then I spray everything down. I spray the inside of the bottle, the outside of the bottle. I pull these out. I lay out a paper towel. I spray inside and outside. And I also spray the caps. Okay, so that everything is nice and sanitary. So that when you give them out as gifts, they're not going to get moldy or they're not going to turn. Okay, so now what you do is you take the roller bottle. Okay, then these are stainless steel, which I really like because the stainless steel won't corrode very much, and it feels good on skin. It really glides. So what you do is you push this down about halfway. Well, it almost goes in, and then you take this part and you push down as far as it'll go. Okay, so it's nice and flush. And then you take your cap and you want to screw this down. Now, these particular ones, you got to screw this all the way. If you don't screw it all the way, you have to kind of clicks. If you don't screw these down all the way, they're going to leak. Otherwise, these are excellent bottles. They never leak on me if I make sure that I do that. And then all you want to do is gently, okay, if you want to, you can say a prayer over it. You can thank the essential oils. You can put your intention in there. You can, especially if you're giving them away as gifts. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. And then when you want to use it, you just open it up and you just roll it. Oh, that smells so good. with the peppermint and the rosemary and the eucalyptus. I mean, I feel like my nose is clearing already. So that's how you would make a roller bottle. And if you want, you can always print labels. Like Avery has labels that you can buy, and then you can print them on their website. So it only costs you the price of the labels, and you just label it, because you do, once you make this, if you don't label it, you're going to forget what's in here. So you don't want to. You definitely don't want to do that. Okay, give me a moment here. Okay, so make sure that you label all your products. Okay, so um, a couple of other recipes for you. Okay, um, let me see. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Okay, so a couple other recipes for you. Let's say you have itchy bug bites. The best thing is lavender. I mean, you can use it straight out of the bottle, only, but only, you don't want to do it all the time. But if you're having a really bad itch, like you have a really bad bug bite, you can take 1 drop and put it on there. But I don't recommend doing that all the time. But what you can do is you can make a roller bottle. And if you want, you can make a 5%er. So you would put, let's see, 10 drops instead of 6. Okay. And then keep this with you. And then when you go out, if your kids get bit or you get bit, you can roll this right on their skin. It takes the itch away immediately. So lavender. The next one is stress relief. And this is a really great one. If you're having a really rough day, or you're in, you're stuck in traffic, you're getting road rage. I mean, this is, the best. This is really a really good, a really good formula. Now, you're going to do 1 drop each of orange, bergamot, patchouli, grapefruit, ylang ylang, and lemon. Let me go ahead and repeat that for you. It is 1 drop each of orange, bergamot, patchouli, grapefruit, ylang ylang, and lemon. Okay. And also, I'm sorry, I just want to say, I'm really new at this live stuff, and so I really want to apologize to Natalie, that she said hello. She's on here, and yes, Natalie, I can see your messages. I hope you're still here with me. But if anybody else has any comments, let me know, because I can actually see them. Okay, so I did figure it out. So one more time, stress relief is 1 drop each of orange, bergamot, patchouli, grapefruit, ylang ylang, which is YLANG twice, and lemon. Those are really great ones for stress relief. Another one that's really useful, especially if you have kids, is what I call upset tummy. And you're going to use 2 each of ginger, peppermint, and 1 each of orange and bergamot. Now, the ginger and the peppermint are really, really good for upset tummies, and orange and bergamot are added in there just to relax. Okay, because you notice they were in the stress relief. They were in the stress relief formula. So that does help a lot. So again, 2 each of ginger and peppermint, and then 1 each of orange and bergamot. Okay, and then another one, which is my favorite, this works really good, okay, is this is for body aches and joint pain. This is going to be a 5% dilution, because you want to have something a little stronger, especially if you've got arthritic knees, or you have, aches, or overdid it, or you have your shoulder hurts. I mean, this is really, really good for that. So this is going to be a 5% dilution. So in a 10 ml roller bottle, you're going to put 2 drops each. Okay. So the body aches and joint pain, 2 each of cypress, copaiba balsam, turmeric, eucalyptus, and black pepper. Now, black pepper is interesting because it actually enhances or adds to um, the working of the other oils. It enhances it because it has piperine in it, and piperine will actually augment or enhance the other oils. It increases the synergy. So cypress, copaiba, turmeric, and eucalyptus are all for pain, and black pepper just adds to the synergy. Okay. So one more time, 2 each of cypress, copaiba balsam, turmeric, eucalyptus. It doesn't matter which eucalyptus. You can use globulus, you can use radiata, blue mallee, all the ones that are aromatic will work, and black pepper. Okay. All right. So another thing that I want to talk to you about is using diffuser. Now, diffusers, a lot of people run their diffusers all day long. And that's not really a good thing because you're inhaling the essential oils. I know a lot of people like to use them for fragrances, but essential oils are more than just a fragrance. Essential oils have healing properties. And of course, they're irritating sometimes because they're very strong. So you don't want to saturate your house with essential oils, especially if you have pets and cats, especially. Cats are really, really sensitive. Their livers cannot metabolize essential oils. So you have to be really careful around your cats. Now, with dogs, it's a little bit different, but you still have to be really careful. So I would do research on the essential oils that you want to diffuse. And um, if you have animals, you really got to be sensitive to them. You may not be able to diffuse them unless you put them in a separate room and close the door and then keep them out of wherever you're diffusing. So the way you use your diffuser, especially if you're using it for health purposes, is you want to diffuse for 30 minutes and then turn it off and then wait a couple more hours and then use it for another 30 minutes. So what you want to do is you want to be in the room when you're diffusing so that you can smell them, because remember, it goes through the olfactory bulb. And once it hits the brain, it circulates into your bloodstream within 30 seconds or 20 seconds, excuse me. And then in every cell in your body in just 90 seconds. So you definitely got to be really careful with this stuff. All right. So there's now with diffusers, you can use them at, like, say, for instance, like if you have a stuffy nose or you need stress relief, you can use those formulas I just gave you in your diffuser. Okay. But you only want to use it for 30 minutes at a time. And like I said before, constantly using it will overwhelm your system. So you can put the stuffy nose one in there and you can sit with it with your diffuser, let's say in your bedroom or small room. Or you can actually, if you want, you can take a big bowl, put some very hot water in there, put your essential oils in there, and then cover your head with a towel, and then inhale that with the stress relief or the stuffy nose. So you can use them also like that. So some of the other recipes I'd like to give you that smell really good. Now, like I said, you can diffuse these, but you don't want to do them constantly because they're overwhelming. Especially, I'm going to give you some recipes for the holiday season, and they're involving very, very volatile, um, powerful oils. So you don't want to diffuse more than 30 seconds at a time. Excuse me, 30 minutes at a time. Okay, so the first one, these are for fall. First one is pumpkin spice, and you're going in your diffuser. You're going to put 2 drops of cinnamon, 1 drop each of clove, ginger, orange, and nutmeg. Or if you want, instead of nutmeg, you can put cardamom if you have it. All right. So let me do that again. Pumpkin spice, 2 drops of cinnamon, and 1 drop each of clove, ginger, orange, and nutmeg or cardamom. Okay, so that's pumpkin spice. The next one that I'm going to tell you about is orange cinnamon buns. Yum, I love cinnamon rolls. You're going to use 3 drops of orange and 2 drops each of cinnamon and cardamom, or you can substitute clove for the cardamom if you don't have that one. So again, orange cinnamon buns is 3 drops of orange, 2 drops each of cinnamon and cardamom or clove. Okay. Now the next one is called crisp breeze. And you can, and this is just it's a very aromatic scent. It's very uplifting. It's not a heavy scent. So you would use 2 drops each of lemon, orange, and fir balsam, or any pine type oil, any pine, black spruce or pine oil. You can use anything like that. Anything that has an aromatic piney scent. So that's why it smells really fresh. So again, crisp breeze is 2 drops each of lemon, orange, and fir balsam. Excuse me, yes, for fir balsam or any pine oil type oil. Okay, and the last one I'm going to talk to you about is based on thieves oil. Now, a lot of people have heard of thieves oil, and there's many versions out there. This is my version, and the legend of thieves oil, I don't know if you've heard this story, but as it goes, is these spice traders were actually stealing off of, it was back in medieval times when the plague was going on. And what they were doing, they were ransacking dead bodies and almost dead bodies, and they got caught. And the powers that be said, well, if you tell us why you're not sick, we'll give you painless death, which was very nice of them. So they told them that they were spice traders and that they covered themselves with certain spices. And the spices are rosemary, clove, eucalyptus globulus, cinnamon bark. Now, it's not cassia and it's not cinnamon leaf, okay? That's not the same thing as cinnamon bark. It smells similar to cassia, but if you smell cassia and cinnamon bark together, you will definitely smell a difference. So cinnamon bark and then orange or lemon. Okay, so you can you can make this up beforehand in a bigger bottle, and then just take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of it and put it in your diffuser. Okay, so I'm going to go over those oils again. There are you're going to put 1 drop each of rosemary, clove, eucalyptus globulus. You can use eucalyptus radiata, but this is the formula that I've come up with, but you can use radiata if you want to, if you don't have globulus. And then cinnamon bark and lemon or orange. I actually like the lemon better, but you can use either one. Okay, so that's called an immune booster. Also, if you have somebody that's sick with a cold or a flu or anything like that, a lot of these oils were determined to be antibacterial and antiviral. So you definitely want to use this if you have illness in your family, especially upper respiratory, like if you've got a cold or you've got a lot of congestion or something like that. And this is a really great recipe to use in your diffuser. Okay, So that's my lesson for today. It's a little shorter than normal, but I do want to go over a few things with you guys about next week. Um, Next week, we're going to be talking about herbs. And, herbs have been used for millennia to heal and maintain health. So I'm going to teach you how to make a tea infusion, tincture, and honey pills. Now, honey pills are really great for kids and older people who don't like the taste of medicine. Like Mary Poppins said, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. So we're going to use honey instead because it's sticky and it mixes up better. After that, class number 5 is how do crystals help us heal? And I'm going to tell you some science. It's not just all esoteric woo stuff. You'll learn why and how they affect us, and you'll probably never look at a crystal the same way twice again. And then the 6th class, I'm going to talk about gem waters. Now, gem waters are where you create a water elixir that has the energy signature of the crystals imbued in it. Now, you don't want to just go out and throw a bunch of crystals in your water because most of them, if not all of them, but most of them are toxic. Okay, so you've got to do your research on using them, but I'm going to show you a method that you can use that you can put any crystal, doesn't matter if it's bumblebee jasper or if it's galena or any of those really highly toxic um, crystals out there. You can use those if you know how. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do next in class number 6. And then the final class is going to be how to choose your crystals and developing your intuition with them. So that's going to be an interesting class. Okay, so I'm glad that you came or you're at least watching Nature's Alchemy. My name is Karen Squillante, and I invite you back to come into Nature's Alchemy, where we explore natural healing with crystals, plants, and herbalism, essential oils, and the many ways that Mother Earth provides for our healing and well-being. I will guide you through these methods you can to recruit these allies and receive their help in bringing the body back into balance. And again, thank you so much for being here. And we will see you next week at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on EWN Enlightened Living.